Hello today. We're going to do what a little kayak, or I should say my fishing kayak, a walkthrough, and kind of show you how I got mine set up and explain why things are the way they are on it. So we'll just go ahead and get started here. First of all, I want to say it's absolutely, I heard someone use the word hassle factor, and the less the hassle factor is, the more likely you are to use it. And what I mean by that is, the first thing you need to consider is where you're going to keep it, how you're going to transport it, and how you're going to transport it, where you're going to keep it. That's your first priority right there. I was lucky, and I already had this trailer. I used to have a Jeep, and I've done several DIY projects here. So I had the trailer. Trailer was already sitting in the garage. Didn't really anger anyone by having it here. So voila, the kayak is on there. So, and it actually works very well out on the water. I also want to point out, you know, I keep the straps, about keep them loose. I keep them loose, and the reason for that, you don't want to put these kayaks under constant pressure, so you just have them tight when you're moving it. And I kicked out the stop on this side, and I'm just going to show you how easy it is to wheel it out of the garage. I'll kick the stump out of here, and then we'll just kind of simply, you know, it rolls to the back of the truck. I take the loose stuff off, and I put the stuff that, like the cooler, this, my net, I'll put that in the truck. But we'll do that in a minute. We'll start at the rear here, and I've got the pivot drive on my new canoe Frontier 12, and as you can see, the shape's kind of a canoe type. Now when I've got my safety flag, and I got a GoPro. That's not a GoPro. That's a AKA SO Bravo camera, I believe it is. And it was 59 bucks on Amazon. Came with 2 batteries, remote control, all the attachment mount set accessories. However, the video on that camera is not as good as the GoPro's video. Definitely a difference. But and if I tried to use the remote to turn it on and off, the Wi-Fi to keep the Wi-Fi on so we can use the remote, actually drained more battery than it was worth. So I turned that on, and I'm going to get about 72 minutes worth of video out of that, and I'll just let it run, and it'll capture stuff that I might miss with my other cameras, or my battery or overheats. You know, we have this. I just added this GoPro. It's a mini GoPro, and I had the one up front, and I liked how long the batteries lasted. Now they say the batteries are smaller, but we're not supporting the LCD screens. There's 2 of them on the GoPro 11s, And this one, it's only got a little one on top. So, and I've noticed the battery. I guess it was a couple of videos. I was reeling in redfish, and that one in front died, and I thought it was the battery, but it overheated. So it shut itself down because of overheating. There was no wind that day, and the sun was beaming pretty good. But this one here, you know, these cameras fell, and the more chances you have out there to capture the catch or whatever you're trying to capture, you know, and the more angles, you know, that you have on the view of the fish, is why I like to have them. So we'll see how it goes. I've been running with 4, now I've added a 5th, I guess. I guess we'll start back here with the good old pivot drive. When I travel, I like to pull this up like this. I'll put that in. I'll come over here and I'll put that in. I'll put that in. And it's only 8 miles to where I normally go. So if I could just pull this pin and lay it down in there, but I like to leave it all together. And I was using these. I had another one right here to carry my cart. Now, where I go, I don't use the cart. I don't need to use the cart, I should say, because I can back up right to the boat ramp. And this thing, I can actually just push it off the trailer and I'm in the water. So I don't use that very much. This is a, I guess it was a cheap little cargo box. I put this cooler on top, and believe it or not, I can actually reach around and grab things out of it. But I'll move that out of the way. One thing I didn't like about the box I got is that it didn't have any latches. It was more of a bungee type hinge. So I ordered these latches from New Canoe, and now I can just open it up. And my life jacket, bait scent, and I got tackle boxes in there. And this was a dashboard right here. And I really, you know, when I bought it, I didn't envision the whole setup I had properly, so wasn't sure what to do with it. So, but I found out if I put it on the side of my box, and I put this board here to stiffen it up, it holds my stakeout stick and my paddle quite well. And the pedal's right there when I need it. Reach down and grab it, we're good to go. Believe it or not, this is one of my favorite add-ons. You know, keep your leader line handy, neat, and I can just reach down and pull off 3 foot of leader, and it's right there. So you know, if I had a boat, I'd put one of those on there. My net keeps up, you know, when I'm fishing, I'll just open it up and I'll keep it behind my seat there. You know, I've got my paddle tethered One time in a different kayak, I was in the middle of the Arroyo Colorado River. I didn't like the way I was sitting in a chair, so I tried to straighten it out, and I flipped it, and I was brand new to the kayaks. Stuff fell out of the boat. A boat stopped by, picked up the stuff. I assumed that he was going to give it to me, but he sped away. And I didn't think about even recognizing the boat by boat numbers or anything like that. I just didn't think it was going to happen. Yeah, here's another thing. I had a bow winkle that was going to go on the dashboard, and then I was like, I did find out that if I got a second bow winkle, I could put my little measuring hog trough right there. And again, as you notice right here, it's tied down. I got it tied down here in that corner, so if I flip this, it ain't going anywhere. This is my anchor wizard, and I use this system and I really like it. It keeps, if you ever had gone without one and used an anchor on a kayak, the rope can be a mess. So this keeps it all nice and neat. I haven't had any trouble. Let's say I got to change my batteries, or I got to tie a new leader on. I can just drop that anchor and it's pretty quick. I can do what I need to do. The boat won't drift downstream or blow away, whatever it may be. After I'm done and ready to hit it again, I just crank this right up, brings the anchor up, and I'm on the road again. The stakeout stick hooks up to this trolley, anchor trolley, and that allow me, if I was, I can control the direction I cast in. So if I want to cast upstream, but my kayak's not facing the right direction, it will do that. It will get in the right direction on there. This lever right here is to steer my pivot drive. It also acts like a rudder, which I use that quite often too, because of the fact that I'm going downstream sometimes, and I just use it to keep the nose pointed in the right direction. And I've really been loving it. Now I've got these, I saw these, and again, it has all to do with, you flip these kayaks, yeah, you got to think about what happens then. This little tray right here, I'll put my bait sense in here, and if a lure, I just need to get off for a second. Down here, I keep my tackle boxes, and again, I keep it on that hook right there. I just reach down and grab the cord and pull it up, and there it is. I may pull the wrong one, but I'll eventually get to the right one. Now, this is this cord right here, I like to keep it right in that slot. And what this does, if my pivot drive is down and it hits soft mud, the pivot drive is designed, if you hit a rock or hit something hard, it'll kick up that motor, but that soft mud won't kick it up. So I'll pull that and then use my paddle to get me in a bit of deeper waters to where I can use that pivot drive again. I use this kayak, once to twice a week, and I would use it more if I had the time. I do keep 3 fishing poles right here, and I would put them in, but the way it's sitting, you know, I don't have the height for it here, but I do use 3. I've got 1 bait casting and 2 spinning. My preferred is a 2500 with a light action IM6 fishing rod, and I do a lot of casting, and that seems to be a comfortable setup for an all day. My bait caster, I lose on the lighter lures, I lose the casting distance, so I use my spinning more. Bait caster is another nice light one that I have fun with. I've got the mount here. I like that camera view for netting fishes and stuff, and then this camera up on top that I have it. It's kind of the flexible one that I move around. I also keep a camera on my head, on my hat. The camera on my hat is the full on all the time. I'm telling you, trying to turn these GoPros on and capture the moment can be rather difficult. These are just some anchor points that I put on there. I was using it to hold the cart down too. This cart, my anchor buddy sits right up here. Drop it down. Oh, for pulling up here. This is a interesting little gadget here. That there allows me to, I hook it under the tongue there, right there, and it allows me to pull that kayak with a, you know, I've got a little winch system kind of going in there, and I can do it by myself. I don't need to have someone help me get the kayak on the trailer. Another thing, that the height of that trailer with the cart works out perfect. I used to overland, and I bought this when I was overlanding, but I do keep it on the kayak because that river where I go, cell servers can be not there, and so if something was to happen, I still have that to communicate to, or communicate with. And I will show you what I do here. Now, when I get this thing ready to if I'm going to take it on the road here, I like to take the paddle, put it down here. There it goes. And I'll take the stakeout stick and I'll bring it over to this side, get it down. And I'll come and bring the seat down like that. Snap that button in. The net. Got the net here. Velcro. Dang, yeah. All right. Got that. And make sure that that's tied down. All this stuff will go into the truck. And this is basically ready to travel. Now, the cameras will be in the truck too. So I'll remove those. And then when I get there, it'll look like what you saw there. So the hassle factor is rather low on this. Now I'm going to leave this strap loose because I'm not going to really go anywhere, but I would tighten it down just enough to get it snug. And when I say snug, just where when I pull up, there is no pull up on it, and there's no compression on the kayak. It's just tight enough to keep it from bouncing around. That's all you want. Any more that you start, you could hurt the kayak. I don't know if you will or not, but I just, kind of one of those common sense things you just don't do, I usually got the kayak or the truck back in further. There's a little ramp into the garage that causes me to use the extra force to get the trailer into the garage. All right. Okay. Back down the boat ramp. I put the tires right on the edge of the water. And I don't, just where the tire touches the water. That leaves the tailgate about 4 inches off the water. I slide that down. I pull it up beside the trailer, high enough to where it won't wash away. Go park the car, come back, and take off for the fishing trip. So remember, think about how you're going to store it. And I suggest that you got to keep it in a place. If I didn't have this trailer, I'd have 2 sawhorses, and I'd have this thing right at the height of my bed of the truck. And I'd back that truck up and just push it in there. You got to keep it easy. You don't want to think about, I don't want to load my kayak because it's such a hassle. I'm not going to use it. If you can afford it, get a real kayak trailer, and your life will be a lot happier. Keep it in the garage. Now, that wraps up my little kayak tour of my fishing vessel. I've really enjoyed it. And the one part of the fun with this is that you can set these up any way you want. And I got my little phone mount I forgot to tell you about right there. As you use it, you figure, well, this would be nice to have, and it doesn't cost a lot of money to get it in there. As a matter of fact, kayak fishing with a pedal drive, I would say, depending how far you live, but for me, it's the cheapest fishing I've ever done in my life. I mean, the most affordable, and I can do it again and again and not have to worry about you know, dropping 200 bucks. And but anyways, hopefully the weather will get better and I can go fishing again. And I was out deer hunting last week, didn't get any deer. I was hoping I'd about the only thing I got was pictures of some birds of the Arroyo Colorado River, and they're interesting, but I don't think I can make a video out of them, so I'll spare you guys the agony of watching it, and I'll keep the pictures to myself. Until next time, have fun.